Welcome to Cook's Rod Shop. The shop's full of projects that are going on right now. Different parts of the 57 build is being done. Didn't feel that there was much to really put out there for a video this week that you guys would be interested in seeing. So we will catch you up next week on the 57. But we have had people ask about our 66 Forester camper. And it was a project that took us off and on working on it 3 years to get done. But we're done last fall, and we got it into a couple trips, and we're hoping to do a bunch more trips this year. So we are going to kind of run you through some of the things we learned, and we will definitely run you through it. And Christine was a big part of this build, so we got some pictures of her working away on it. So the very first thing we did on this 66, Forester is we had to tear it down, and there was a lot of rot in the ceiling, and some of the wall studs were gone. So we'll kind of show you a few hits of what we ran into on the teardown, and here we go.
So here is a brief little tour. He's got the air conditioning running. Kimmy, say hi to Na.
Hi.
And then I will take you inside.
Shit.
Oh, sorry, I'm just taking a video for now.
No. Yeah, that's really good.
The only problem is this. It looks like Cook said there was a fire.
Okay, now that you've seen what we did for teardown, then we had to get into removing the flooring and stuff like that, and there can be a lot of harmful things in the flooring. Don't recommend anyone to get into that any more than you have to, but if you're going to, make sure to wear all the PPE you can. We got some pictures of us doing some of that, and here's a few of them right here. Okay, now we ended up removing all of the cupboards out of the trailer and then doing the walls. The one recommendation I would have for anyone trying to do a camper is be careful how much of the cupboards you remove. We ended up with this one not realizing it, and the cupboards were actually holding the roof up. We ended up losing the back of the camper where it dropped down, and I ended up saving it by getting a jack in there quick and jacking up a 2x4 across the ceiling and saving it. But there was a quick second there where I thought, oh no, I just wrecked this one. But so that'd be one warning, is maybe fix one wall at a time, or make sure to support your ceilings before you take all of your cupboards and so forth out of it. Now, I was able to reinforce it, support it, and you'll see in the pictures that I had the cupboards and everything out of it up until the very end of getting the walls resheeted. So once you get the 2x2s in there to hold everything up, it will structurally be sound. And we got some videos of that. Now, the next thing that we did on this little trailer is we wanted to put an air conditioner in it. So I wanted to be able to cool this thing down or heat it up in the winter and make sure that it would hold the temperature. So we ended up putting pink board in the whole thing, ceilings, walls, and we went 1 inch. And here's some pictures of that. Okay, after that, we ended up starting to resheet it. The one thing that I would recommend doing that we didn't know, because this is our first trailer build, we ended up putting in the cheapest wood I could find. Basically, to me, it's a plywood with a laminate on it. And I would highly recommend, it's very expensive. That was the most expensive thing I did on this build, was buy that plywood. And I would recommend that I would have paid more and bought better product, because I had a lot of problems when I started bending the plywood around the curves. Some of the pieces wanted to delaminate, and so I would recommend anyone getting better plywood that's made to go around the curves. Yes, I got the job done and it'll last us many years, but I would definitely recommend just put the money out and buy better plywood. And here's some pictures of us plywooding it. Okay, and now I guess the one thing I also am going to bring up is, guys, be careful when you're doing these rebuilds, no matter what you're rebuilding. I've been doing it for 30 years, seen many people mess around in different builds, not a woodworker. But the one hard lesson that I learned was the table saw. I've used table saws for years, but I don't like them. Think they're one of the most dangerous tools out there. And it did get me. And here's a picture. Okay, basically, at the end of the day, took a push stick to push a piece of wood through the table saw, and seen it done many times, never had an issue. The saw blade grabbed the push stick and shoved it into my hand. 100% my fault. Should have come up with a different way of doing it. But here we are. We're teaching someone something. It might be just to make sure when you're using a saw that nothing is getting in contact with that blade. Now, the next step after that was to start putting the cupboards and all that back together. We didn't totally rebuild them. They were in good shape. We just kind of refaced them, put them in there. We knew we weren't going to put a stove in this. We're not going to put a refrigerator in it. It does have the wiring in there for a stove because we rewired the whole trailer. Or we can also put in a refrigerator. But at this point, we don't want it. We want plain simple. Our plan is to be out by the fire. So we just put a nice size countertop in there, and so it works out really nice for us. So after we got the cupboards in there, we put a full-size mattress in the back because our plans are not to be folding it up into a couch. Our plans is to sleep in it and then be out by the fire. So we got a nice bed in there. More than happy with the way we went with it for what purposes we have for the camper. We do have a table up front that will fold into a bed, so we can fit up to 4 people in this little trailer. And it seems to work out really nice. We got all kinds of cupboard space, and we're real happy with the way this turned out. The other thing I will mention for you that have not seen this trailer is we ended up putting an air conditioner in the closet. Yes, we lost some closet space, but at the end of the day, we have plenty of space in this trailer for storage. We're not lacking closet space in this trailer. So, and we will do a walkthrough of the trailer for you that have not seen this. But I was trying to think if we ended up going after we got the whole insides together, we ended up going into paint. The paint on the outside was really faded. Basically, it chalked away. It washed off. It was basically a silver trailer by the time we were done. So we ended up sanding the whole trailer down, putting it into epoxy, and then going into paint. Very happy with the way the paint turned out. I went into the paint store here in town and told them what I was going after, and it's exactly what I was going after. So we were lucky enough, we had all the windows out of it, and we ended up getting it into paint. The one thing that I'll tell you on the window frames and stuff, that remember everything was super dingy on this thing. So we ended up washing all the windows and the aluminum out in the driveway, power washing them, and then we used chemicals to clean the aluminum because there's so many little crevices you couldn't really ever, in my thought, buff them out or anything. Yes, you could do the outsides of them, but remember you got the backsides that you're going to see all the backsides of the window. So we felt the best way to get what we were going after is to chemical wash them. And the chemical wash we found worked excellent. Like, I would recommend it to anyone. So I guess the next step after the windows, and by the way, we did, when we were painting it, we did put a stripe on the side of it to match the original, except for we decided we were going to put the color to match the pickup. Other than that, everything's original the way it was looking, except for the stripe matches the truck. Other than that, it does not have a heater that's built into it, but we did end up buying a portable heater for it, a little LP or whatever, little heater, and that, I'm telling you what, you turn it on, and I'd say maybe 4 minutes, and she's nice and toasty in there. And we didn't even run it all night. We just used it, take the heat off, take the coolness out of the trailer, and we shut it off, and we went all night, and it did what we needed it to. And it was what, 30 degrees. The first night out was 30 degrees, so we learned real quick that we need heat in this.
And then you had to open the windows.
Yeah. You got to be careful leaving it on too long, because it's not good when it's 30 degrees out and you're opening windows to cool it off in the little thing. So anyway, we got the paint on the outside, and it has the original hubcaps on it. Very happy with the way that turned out. The only thing that I didn't like is the lights on the side of it. I ended up having to go with something that look sort of like the old ones, but they are not the exact ones that belonged on it. Could I refurb the ones that belong on the camper? 100%. It just got to the point that I wanted the trailer where we could use it. I actually left the screw holes, which you guys can see here, that I could someday actually pull these off and go to the original ones if it bothered me that much. But other than that, all the lights are basically redone. It's still in the same look as what they were back then, but they are all brand new lights except for the back tail lights. No one made anything that looked like they did in 66. So that was an eBay find to get the lights on this that would have been on it in 66. Because that was a big thing that I was trying to keep it looking like it did when it came out new. I believe that's pretty close, and I'm going to give you guys a run through of the trailer so you guys can see the finished product, and hopefully someone else out there will decide to do one, because it is a real fun project if you like more of the woodwork type stuff. And I'm not nervous on getting into anything. I can tell you the one thing for anyone else that I just happened to look over and think about is every single screw in the outside of this shell got replaced with stainless steel, because every single screw was rusty. And that alone is a task in itself, because you have to get every one of those screws out. And I want to say we went through about 700 screws to do it, because I bought 500 and thinking I was going to have a lot left over. And that did not happen. We had to go buy another 500. So, guys, get ready, because I'm telling you, I didn't think I was ever going to get done pulling rusty screws out. Putting the new ones in wasn't hard at all. Getting the old ones out was a trick. So, okay, we will give you a run through of the trailer, and hopefully we'll run into someone else out there on trails or in the campgrounds, and because the plan is you're going to see these two out in the campgrounds if you're anywhere around us. So okay, guys, let's go for a little tour of what we did here. We put everything back, and as you can see, we figured our dogs kind of took this over. Kind of dark in here, but you guys will get the idea. We got a lamp that we put outside. We got some vintage luggage. We got our little heater. And as you can see, inside all these cabinets is a place to store stuff. So, definitely a cozy little camper.
You want to show that?
We have our, what I call central air. And we do have an awning for it. Matter of fact, we'll try to throw some pictures in at the end here that will show the camper set up a couple different times. But we got a place to hang up. Got cupboards still up above. The plan is that is a gas light that no longer works, but we want to turn it into LED light for above the table. So, and that table does turn into a bed. We do have a vintage cooler underneath there that we use. We have some lanterns. And the other thing that I didn't mention, that we're trying to keep this camper set up where we can go into a campground, and if they tell us there's no electricity, that's fine. Just give us a spot to park, because we can have everything around, like the lanterns and stoves and everything, that we don't need power. And the last 2 times we had it out, we actually didn't have no electricity, and it worked out just fine. So, just kind of a little rundown. I know it shop's a little crowded to give you guys good views of this, but hopefully you guys are getting the idea. Okay, thanks for following along with our camper build, and we would like to leave you with please like, comment, and subscribe. And I would also totally like if people would share this channel. We definitely need to grow. So if you know someone that might be interested in, share it with someone, because we definitely got to get the word out and get this channel growing a little bit. We're going to leave you off with a few pictures of this camper actually out and being used. So thanks again.